Alrighty, and welcome to the Lion's Lair. Cheers, boys.
Sorry.
Notice the big boy don't even have a
Drinking
beer.
water today. What's the story with that, brother?
I'm on the waters.
Let people know why.
I thought for a change I'd stop drinking for, this one's going to be for about a week. So it's a long stint, but I thought I'd start with a week and then maybe roll that over into the end of the month.
We'll see how you go with the weekend.
But I truly don't think I could get to the end of the month. So that's why I'm like, I can definitely get to a week. And then I'll see how I feel at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
It's true.
For a day,
I was going to do a day, but then people just laugh at me and go, you're an idiot.
Good luck, brother. We're with you.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. Next week, next podcast, if Andrew has no alcohol, what's his reward?
$1 million.
All right, JP.
Okay, JP. Get ready to head over to the
Gotta pay
bank.
him the $1 million.
9 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Other
1
money?
mil. Come on, man. Well, you won't give me 1 M.
Nah, man.
That's ridiculous. I didn't ask for a B. I asked for an M.
Look, man, if you get under the table and do some work, we'll
I
talk
you love
about
me.
it.
What's going on here?
I do. I love it if you get under the table too.
Alrighty, boys. So we've got a jam-packed show today.
Yeah.
Firstly, I would like to talk about our new TV series that we're wanting to launch. Hopefully, fingers crossed to get on Stan one day. We're going to do a pilot that is basically for young entrepreneurs, visionaries, anyone with a solid business idea that may not have had the connections or funding in the past to turn it into a enterprise, where they come on the show, tell us about their idea, tell us why they think it will work. We listen to them and try to pick apart their business as best as we can. They go through a series of tests and challenges that will eventually, hopefully, land them with the funding that they need to expand the business into something great.
So it's like Shark Tank.
I wasn't going to say that,
it's a
but
knockoff version
yeah,
of
I
Shark
guess it is a
Tank.
little bit like Shark Tank. It's going to be on the
Copycat.
same premise as Shark Tank, but a lot different as well. I
So it's
think
like
that-
Dragon's Den.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that either. It's going to be a little bit like that, but a little bit different again. It's going to be like a bit of a hybrid.
So how's it going to be different?
Well, look,
What's the
I can't say too much at the moment because we're still actually coming up with the ideas. But
It's going to be different nonetheless.
it's going to be different. It's going to be same, but different.
It's going to have a different name.
100%.
It's just like Lee and Deuce. What's the difference between Lee and Deuce being a developer and other developers?
Exactly right.
It's the same,
Thanks,
but
John.
it's different.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah,
F you, man. F
Josh
you.
has been a smart ass.
I always have answers to any challenging
That's it.
question.
Exactly.
So we're not trying to recreate the wheel.
No.
Right, we've got the structure of what we're going to try to do, and we are going to have some fun twists to it to make it a little bit more interesting and more appealing for the customers. So, just to finish that off, we will leave a link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, or we will leave a link on our website in regards to putting through submissions for the show. And we'll maybe all have a bit of a chat now about what each one of us will be looking for on the show that would entice us to invest, because there'll be obviously 4 hosts on the show that will be putting in money to fund these ideas. And I may not see an idea as bright as John might. So I would obviously like John maybe to start with what he'll be looking for from guests coming onto the show and what would really stand out to him.
Right. Okay. So for me, I think personality is the most important thing. If someone wants my money, they better fucking show the respect. I don't care how smart, how crazy your idea is. If people don't like you, they're not gonna fund you. And that's the same with me. So if I want to invest in your company, you need to first show the respect, because the respect would go the long way.
Sure.
How
do I-
respect?
So in regards to that, with like personality wise, let's say I'm listening to this now, I'm a
Yeah.
kid, I've got a mad idea.
You got mad.
How do I get a better personality to come on the show?
Well, first of all, with
natural,
an idea, it doesn't transform into practicality, doesn't turn into money-making machine just yet. So don't rock up and be like, dude, I'm the fucking bomb. I have the fucking idea, man. I'm gonna
gold
kill
chain.
Amazon. I'm gonna be the next Elon Musk. Well, like what track records do you have? So I would fund someone who has an idea and who's able to explain his idea in a very humble way. What I mean by that is, if you want us to fund you, like me, my money to fund you, and you want to start off a real estate company, for instance, then you gotta tell me something that we're not doing, I'm not doing, no one else is doing, and that's interesting enough. That makes sense. So you gotta do a lot of research. Like I can daydream and tell you that, dude, man, Lee and Deuce is gonna create a rocket. We're gonna launch next month, go to the moon. How? I don't know. I'm just giving you an idea. So you gotta be prepared that if I ask you how are you gonna do it, so
like a blueprint. You want some details.
I want some feasibility. I want a proposal. You can't just rock up and tell me that I got this plan.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then who are the buyers? How are we gonna find the buyers? How are we gonna make it work? What's the time frame?
Yep.
How much would it cost? I don't like the word approximately. I like the word exact. Okay, it's gonna take $5,000 to create a website. Why? Are you using freaking media? That's why it costs $5,000. Can you not use someone else? No, freaking media is the best. Okay, I'm sold. You can't just tell me that I need this money because I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna hire someone to do it. Like you gotta give me a proposal that makes sense.
So that you want like an explanation behind the funding, so instead of asking for, instead of them asking for $1 million, they could possibly be asking for 100 if they use their money correctly as well.
And that's one major thing. If you don't know how to save your money, being an entrepreneur, you're gonna burn off all my cash. And next month you're gonna come back asking for another 100,000.
Yeah.
So that's my criteria. Be humble, show the respect, be hungry, and be innovative. And come up with ideas that I don't even know how to do it. I recently recruited this new agent, Queenie. When I saw her story of how she takes clients around to show the properties, I got inspired.
Yeah.
Everyone takes clients around in a car. She freaking takes clients around in a boat. So she shows the beauty of the houses on the water.
That's a great
on the
idea.
backside.
Yeah.
Dude, that's innovative. If she wants
Definitely.
me to invest in her new company, I will consider.
Yeah.
So you gotta think outside the box.
Yeah.
You can't just all do the same shit like everyone else. I'm not gonna put my money in you. If you tell me what I know already, I might as well just invest in myself because I have the track records. I just do it myself.
You got the money as well.
And I got the money as well, right? So I'll invest myself. So not saying that I'm stingy or anything. I will invest in you.
Yeah.
Anyone out there with a crazy idea, show the respect, show me your idea, show how it's gonna be done, and be cautious with how you're gonna spend your money.
Definitely.
What about you, JP?
Oh.
I wish John didn't go first because
Yeah, we're from personality
That's why.
to
That's why.
knowing
If you guys have
knowing
noticed,
that.
I usually like to go last.
Yeah.
I let you guys speak first.
yeah, definitely. No,
Otherwise, I take away your ideas.
exactly. I was personality, but I was more in the sense of personality in the, for me anyway, relationship. To me, if I'm going to go in partnership with somebody or business with somebody, I need to have a good relationship with them, a respectful relationship where you can take criticism, you can take, feedback back and so forth and move forward. I've been in situations where I was in real estate and I worked with 3 toxic people, the most toxic people I've ever worked with in my life. And we just couldn't work together. They were that toxic. I couldn't be in around that atmosphere. You couldn't. You bring something up, you talk to them, they lose their mind. Like you can't get anything done. It just I couldn't work there. Eventually, I left, got paid out. The other example is I had a client, not a client, another business partner that she couldn't take criticism. Like I said to her, I said, please let me finish talking about the deal you described, because the way I'm picked it up, it sounds like shit to me, but let me explain from my point of view and what I'm thinking so you can understand me, and then you can say, JP, you're a dickhead, this is what I meant. I started talking 30 seconds into the conversation and she just comes at me and just starts attacking me, yelling at me, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why can't I just talk to you, tell you the criticisms I have, and you correct me or tell me, yeah, you know what, you're right. I said, for example, me and Andrew, we work well together. Like, there's been in the past when my partner said, Andrew, he goes, Andrew goes off at you sometimes and tells you to do this and this and this. And I said, yeah, but Bella, it all depends on where it comes from. If it comes from a good place and it comes from a good heart, I'll take it, because it'll be like, yeah, I know this guy means well. So I shut up, I listen to the feedback and go, yeah, fair enough. I understand your point of view. Understand mine now. But and me and him never fight because we respect each other and we understand each other where we're at. So with a business partner, with me, it's all about Of course, the money, the idea, all that, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
I pretty much, to be honest, I know we'll take care of itself in the sense of working all together. But the relationship, if I can't communicate with this guy, like to say, hey, man, I don't like the way you've done that. That's pretty stupid. It'd be better if you did it this way. If he starts attacking me, it's like, how am I supposed to work with this dickhead?
Yeah.
You know, instead of attacking me, say to me, oh, JP, I tried that, but I think this way is better. And I'll look at it from a point of view and go, oh, you're right, let's do that. It's all about communication. So for me, relationships mainly.
100%. I agree. Can agree more.
For me,
Big man?
I would 100% be, without doubt, the value of what they're proposing with their idea. So if I think it's got legs, and most importantly for me in regards to that is their drive and hunger and willingness to not give up. I think that a lot of people have great ideas. I think that 9 out of 10 of them don't have the heart to pull it through or the whole way through. So for me, I would look for someone that's had a very, very, very rough history with business where they've just failed and failed and failed and failed and failed and they keep pushing. That just means resilience for me. And with my guidance and possibly with my funding or with our funding, with that resilience, I think that we could probably turn an idea into an absolute money machine. So for me, it's definitely heart and being able to fail enough to understand your mistakes and learn from them as well. And on top of that, the idea has to be extremely innovative for me. I would never invest into something that is already out there because one, you're already starting a couple of years or 5 years behind that person that's already in the industry in this area. Why come up with the same idea and be 5 years behind someone that's already got a network and the experience? So if the idea is innovative enough, if it solves a big enough problem, and I can see that the person is not going to give up at the first turn of error with the business or at the first turn of any problems with the business, that's what I'll be looking for, without a doubt. I want to see someone who's got drive. That's huge for me. Because if someone can take 100 hits, and keep pushing forward, then I know that my money's safe. Because then I can say, no, we're not doing that. We'll do it this way. You've made the mistake once, twice here. Let's do it this way now and have a little bit of control, and then have his drive again, pushing it forward. Sort of thing.
100%.
But as long as they learn from their mistakes as well, you can't make 100 mistakes and keep pushing on. I think 5 to 10, 5 to 10's a fair number. 100, you start to fucking push
out
it.
there, if you've made 100 mistakes already, please do not apply.
Go get a job.
Go get a job.
Actually, apply. Let us see your idea first on paper, and then we'll let you know.
Then we'll see you later. At least you make it to the show.
Just in case. You never know. What about you, Josh?
man?
Yeah, man. I mean, mine's pretty simple. Just 3 things. One, the person.
Yep.
Like you guys all touched on things like personality, trust, and stuff like that. 2, they know their numbers.
Yep.
Like if you don't know your numbers, the lines will fucking eat you up.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how much profit have you made? What's your turnover? What's your expenses?
Yep.
How much money do you need for marketing? What are you going to use the money for?
Yep.
All those kind of numbers. And lastly, that they're all in on the project. Like they're not like, oh, I work, this is my project. I'm looking at starting up this business, rah, rah, rah. What else do you do? Oh, I've also got 6 other businesses. Like, fuck off, cunt. Like, I'm not going to invest in your business.
Yeah.
They have to be fully all in on that project.
I agree with that.
We'll touch on that a bit later.
Yeah.
But like, I think they have to be all in on that business.
Try to catch 6 monkeys.
Why are you smiling, bro?
I'm smiling because that's sort of touch based on what I posted on my Instagram story yesterday, because I had a very expensive hobby. I was a full-time expensive hobby person. And then now I'm full-time dedicated to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But like,
I laugh because I agree.
Your business is better, but before.
Oh,
that as
yeah,
well.
definitely. I save a lot of money.
Like if someone comes in and they're like, I've got 2 businesses, but I just want you to invest in this one. It's like, well, where are you going to spend your time? I don't want to invest in this business if half of your time's in that.
I would love that though, and this is why it's going to be so good on the show. I would love that because I would say, are you willing to shut down your 4 businesses now to pursue this?
Yeah, just to pursue that.
And if they say no, I'll be like, that's awesome. Thank you for coming.
Tara, come in here.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not willing to literally put everything on the line for an idea that we're going to be funding, then no way in the world.
Yeah, so I think we all had pretty similar things, like the person, numbers, trust, the idea,
Yeah.
and,
The problem they're solving as well.
being all in as well.
100%. Should be good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Be
definitely.
really good. I'm looking forward to some stupid ideas as well.
Oh, the stupid
I
ones
can't
are
wait.
the best.
Sometimes, those stupid ideas can turn into
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk got laughed out of the room when he said anything about electric cars. They were like, no one's ever going to want an electric car. It's just like, it's unfeasible, it's uncool, no one will want them.
Yeah. But
He's laughing now.
Look what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Like Alibaba Jack Ma, when he proposed the idea, you guys don't have to go traveling to attend those exhibitions anymore. We can all do this online. And people laugh. Like, why
Yeah.
would people place a large order, like $1 million order, on something they can't really touch?
100%.
Yeah.
Look what people do
trust.
now. Look at Amazon. People shopping without going to the store.
Started
without
as a
seeing this.
bookstore.
Yeah, exactly, right? So sometimes your crazy idea can turn into something very, very profitable.
And he started that. Amazon started online with the bookstore.
Yeah.
Like literally when the internet wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was
Yeah.
watching this podcast. He was talking, or maybe it was a speaking event actually. And it was like no one even knew what the internet was when Amazon was out. Like they were like, what the hell? It was called the intranet back then, I think. And then it went to the internet, and it was just like unheard of.
Yeah.
And then it just started to pick up, and it
But
went. But
let's use him as an example if he came into the show. So back when he was younger.
when he comes in, you mean?
Yeah.
When
When
he
a bit too expensive.
As well
now
as
to
Donald
share.
Trump be coming in. Yeah.
We'll send Jeff an email after this. Actually, So he comes
But
in.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's all in on his business.
Yeah.
And he's also the one delivering the stock to the post office.
Yeah.
So when you hear that in like an entrepreneur, you're like, dude, like, of course I'll invest.
Did you hear when he when I think they were packing the boxes to ship the books, or it might have been the products, and there was no packing table. I think they were doing it all on the floor.
On the floor.
Right.
Yeah, I've
And
watched
then
that.
one of the staff was like, "Oh, maybe we should get like a fucking table, so then
No.
we don't have to bend down."
No, he was like, this is why he had partners. His idea was maybe we should get shin guards so our shins don't hurt on the floor.
Yeah.
And the other guy's like, bro, why don't we just get tables? And he's like, yeah, good idea.
Every successful person has a business partner.
And it's
Teamwork.
It's good to connect with smart people like that, and obviously come up with ideas and stuff as well, because I'm sure his business still would have skyrocketed as high as it has now, but it may have delayed by 6 months, and he might have had dick sucking knee marks on his neck. He wouldn't have, because he would have had the obviously the
You wouldn't have a table.
Smart.
Smart. Think outside the box.
Just not as smart.
Yeah, exactly right. So cool. So as I said, if anyone has any ideas, any future visions with what they want to do going forward, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show.
Definitely.
And we haven't got any dates set in stone yet, but we will relay that information out to you guys very shortly.
I think on that as well, like if someone's got a business or looking at to start a business and they haven't got every dot's signed,
Yep.
like everything signed off, still applies, still come on, because it's like start at 60%, 70%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're never going to start until you're perfect.
And hey, we might not invest into it, but there's going to be a lot of people watching the show.
And
Yeah,
we get feedback
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
We'll get that feedback. We'll be like,
Yeah.
hey, look, you're a great bloke,
Yep.
but you're doing 3 businesses at once and you have no idea on your numbers.
Yep,
Here's our feedback.
100%.
Or we might take advantage of you. We like your idea.
Yeah.
It's not polished, so we'll offer you,
Yes.
a certain amount of money for 80% of your.
Yeah. Instead of $1
Your
million,
idea.
we'll give you 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And we'll take
100%.
90%.
Well, better than nothing.
Exactly.
Dude, it's a
And we'll
lion's-
make it work.
It's the lion's lair. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
We're fucking
gotta
bottom.
eat.
We're bottom feeders.
What we may do, and this is just an idea, obviously we haven't even spoken about this,
Yeah.
if your idea is good enough, and
Yeah.
if we do see enough sense into it, but we just don't want to invest, we may fund a business analyst to go through your idea with you and help you with the feasibility, help you with business setup, free of charge from us as like a scholarship sort of thing. So
Yeah, I'll talk to Andrew, see if
yeah,
he can help out.
that's something
Yeah.
that we may do. You'd normally pay anywhere from 10 to 20 grand at any financial planning sort of institute to do that, and we
Yeah.
might
Find that
help
for
fund
free.
that.
Dude, how good would that look on camera as well? Like people would love that.
100%.
That's where the teardrop moments come.
For sure. And that's, and to be completely honest, that is one of the main reasons why I really want to do this for the public, is to help people that never had that chance.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how good they would feel, we would feel, the audience would feel if a kid came on, had the worst upbringing possible, had this brilliant idea that everyone laughed at him about. We funded it in a year's time. You know, he's a millionaire because of someone believing in him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think the banks don't look at ideas. The bank looks at the numbers only in most cases. And now with COVID, it's 100% numbers only, and that's even for funding for real estate as well.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so having us to be able to see maybe funding potential more rather than the actual numbers and how they stack up and their credit history and experience. You know, you get a kid on here that's 10, 12, 13 years old with zero credit, zero experience, but he's got a banging idea. He's doing really well at school. He's made, you know, a couple of grand as a young kid, and he's got the drive. Give him a crack. Let's have a go.
I can't agree more.
Yeah,
So it
it's
could be
you
pretty
said,
good.
Whatever idea, bring it forward, even if it's
it's not
nothing.
polished.
Yeah, it's not polished.
Start it off.
That's what we do. Well, I better leave it there.
I mean, look at JB's head, for example. It's definitely not polished.
Talking about Spike.
Alrighty, so we've got some questions that have been sent through for people trying to start up their own businesses, as you guys are already used to. The first one is, and I love this one, how do you come up with business ideas? So how do you generate an idea and turn it into a reality? We'll start with
You want to
Josh on this one.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because I'm thinking.
What happened to it?
It's not.
A bit of technical malfunctions.
You're fired. Tyson, you're so fired.
Technical
Every
problem.
time he touches the GoPro, it doesn't work.
Dude.
Literally. It's the easiest camera to use out of all cameras. You literally just press on. That's it. It doesn't focus. It doesn't do anything. It's just on.
It's either it's got power or it doesn't have a power.
It's so easy. Oh, dude.
Thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually in live, the easiest thing is the hardest thing to do.
It's like trying to find the G spot, eh, brother?
Oh, it's on my car. Okay, that's great. Awesome.
We got to leave that in the podcast.
Awesome. Maybe next week we'll live stream one of our podcasts on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
shit.
Let's do
Because
that.
that actually does live on
Or at least
GoPro
20,
to Facebook.
20 minutes of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then we'll have like tasks come in, pause it and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right, so back to the question, how do you come up with good business ideas? I think this is a pretty valuable question.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Nah, for sure. Nah, for sure. So to start the juices flowing, I normally YouTube it. So YouTube, like what's sort of trending businesses and stuff like that. And just recently, for example, like I YouTubed it, and what's one of the shot guys' name? The guy that owns the Mavericks in the US.
Mark
Cuban.
Cuban.
Yes. Mark Cuban? Yeah. So there was a video with Mark Cuban, and he was talking about things like Siri and Alexa and creating businesses around that because they're so current right now, but people don't know like how to use them really. They know like, oh, hey, Alexa, turn on the lights.
This gay boy bought one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said buy some because they're awesome.
Yeah,
Bought
yeah.
them, took them home. His missus goes, you don't need that shit. So the gay boy took it home, took it back, and handed back the money.
Really?
What are you doing?
Because
that's-
I've never had one. I've never seen the point of it.
Correct.
You,
So
you
people
find
will
it
tell
in the
me-
office. You've
But
seen me using it in
that's
the
the
office.
business idea. People
They're the
don't know
future.
how to use them. So if you created a business and you show people, hey, I'll connect your house to a Google Home,
Yeah,
that's a business.
there you go.
You know what I mean? So going back,
Gary V very lightly spoke about this. He was saying that he reckons that the next big thing, because
all
you know how
voice.
he's been pretty good, is
it's
all voice. He reckons that
imagine
everything's going to get into voice.
Imagine walking into your home saying, hey, Alexa, turn on all the lights and also order a Meat Lover's pizza from Domino's for me and make my bed warm as well and put the shower on.
And call the call girls to come over.
Have you seen the new Google Assistant and what they're trying to do with that? I'm going to put this video in this YouTube clip because it is freaking amazing. At one of the Google conferences, one of the Google technicians there, he speaks to Google and says, "Hey Google, can you please book dinner for us at Kiyomi tonight at 7 p.m."
Oh, yes.
Right? Google calls
on.
Kiyomi.
Yeah.
Sounds like a full-on chick. You would never pick up that it's Google Assistant.
Right.
Like there is no way in the world.
Yeah.
the chick that was talking on there was from like a Chinese shop, and you could barely understand what she was saying.
Yeah,
it
but
was
Google
like
understood.
broken English. She said also, we don't have 7 o'clock available. Google Assistant said, okay, what time do you have available around then? And then she goes like 7:30. Would that be okay? She goes, yep, that's perfect. Thank you very much. What's the name? My boss's name is XXX. Awesome. That's booked in for 7:30. It got booked in. Then you get an alert on your phone as a calendar invite saying you've got the booking for 7:30 at there. And they just reckon that this is going to be the future. And it's scary because they reckon that it's going to take over so many jobs on the phone.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to set up algorithms where you won't need staff on the phones anymore.
Yeah.
You can just literally speak to a computer.
Yeah.
If the computer really isn't getting what you're trying to say, which we're probably years away from, then you'll go to a live person. But for bookings for restaurants, imagine if the staff didn't have to pick up the phone and do these stupid bookings.
Yeah.
It's just all booked in through Google Assistant. So
Not only that,
That is so true. I think that's why nowadays a lot of restaurants, they take online booking.
Yeah.
You don't even have to call them.
Yeah.
You just go online book.
there's things that they can do we can't even think of right now.
crazy.
For instance, like we had an issue with the internet. Imagine if you could say, "Hey Google, can you call Telstra and fix the internet for
Yep.
me?"
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there was another thing called Grant Cardone had it on his website, and a guy that was like a bit of an IT guru. He was trying to make an Alexa rebuttal machine. So basically, the Alexa would go on your sales desk. If someone asked you a question, right, and this wouldn't even be that hard to set up, and this may be something we can maybe do, and if it's really, really good and you guys like it, we can cut it out of this clip.
We'll keep that.
Because I've thought about it. That's how freaking awesome this
Yeah.
is. So Alexa listens to you, and you say, so a customer's talking to you and they say, look, I'm really interested in your product, but I'm just not ready to commit right now. Can you call me back tomorrow? Okay.
Right.
Now, a normal sales agent would try to overcome the rebuttal by saying blah, 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 blah. The new guys may not be as sharp. So they can basically go, okay, just give me 1 second. While they're talking, they press mute on the phone. Hey, Alexa, it's a time stall the rebuttal. He wants to think about it and call me back tomorrow. Then Alexa goes through its keywords, looks for time stall, looks for rebuttal, call back tomorrow, and it goes, say this back to the customer. And you have pre-written scripts from the head bosses of the company that know how to handle that like that. And Alexa, instead of having your manager there to help you, Alexa helps you, and it knows straight away how to help you handle that rebuttal. Could you imagine how much that would accelerate the sales within a company? It wouldn't be that hard to do. So think about that as a business and how well that would work in a sales industry. And it would not be that hard to make.
No, for sure.
It really wouldn't.
Can you repeat the Alexa part so she hears what you're saying?
Can you just sign this NDA first, please? So Alexa's basically sitting on the desk. You're on the conversation to a customer. Customer says basically, I'm really keen on the product. I just want to look at another one. I'm going to call you back tomorrow, and I don't have my wallet. Or let's just say, for instance, I don't have my wallet on me at the moment. I'll call you back tomorrow or later on this afternoon my wallet. You say to Alexa, not a problem at all, mate. Just give me 1 second. Put him on mute. Hey, Alexa, the guy doesn't have his wallet on him and he wants to call back, or he wants to speak to his wife, like every single person has on the phone. Boom, Alexa starts going, here's option 1, here's option 2, here's option 3, and then you copy what your sales manager or the bosses have pre-written in sales scripts to be able to respond back to the customer.
It's so easy to make, man.
I know, because you do coding, hey?
Yeah.
All right, we need it.
I mean,
we're
awesome.
going to cut this off the thing.
Nah, it's alright. Keep it in.
I can have a chat with a man of mine that like we're trying to start something just entirely different business around IT as well.
Yeah.
And I was about to do like a IT AI course.
Yeah.
In the next couple of weeks, and he touches on like language recognition, and it's a lot easier to do. Like especially nowadays, like people usually think that AI is like this big thing that you need like heaps of data to do. You know, that only Google can do because it's so expensive. But that has been debunked recently by a guy, I don't remember his name. But essentially, now you can do like a state-of-the-art kind of AI with 30 pictures, or like if you just a few examples, you know.
I think keep all this in because it gets to the topic of execution is everything.
Yep.
It's like Mark Cuban didn't give that idea out because he's scared someone's going to copy it. He'll probably make that business himself. But he's like, I will execute it better than everyone else.
100%.
You might have a great idea, but you're not good at executing it.
Because that's the difference between billionaires and millionaires is they execute. They execute. Right? Everyone's got. They reckon that the average human has $5 million ideas a year.
Yeah,
Five.
easy.
I've had a few.
No one does it. You know what I mean? No one executes. Everyone always goes, "Oh, I've thought of that before." Fuck.
Never executed. Yeah.
But how good's that for an idea? Like fucking epic.
Yeah.
And that's scalable to every sales industry. Imagine real estate offices when you're prospecting.
Yeah.
And you have $1 billion agent that knows what the fuck they're doing, how to handle rebuttals.
Yeah.
He goes, if the person says they're not looking to sell at the moment because of COVID and they want to think about it in a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
But the only thing that would take a while to set up is the pre-written rebuttals to program into Alexa. But man, that would be a good business.
Yeah, definitely.
Great idea, but ideas don't mean shit.
That's it, without
It's all about
execution.
So I think YouTube, great way to think of ideas. And then you can relate that back to yourself. Like, do I enjoy doing this? Am I good at this? And do I have an edge in this? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So things like
Like
say,
a niche
say
sort of
the
thing.
real estate business. Like
Yeah.
I've got a niche in, like I've got an edge in it because my dad's in it. So
Yep.
I've got connections already.
Yep.
You know, I enjoy real estate, and two, like I'm good at it. Like I've got a track record of being good at it. So this is like my business. And those are kind of questions I think you got to ask yourself as well.
Definitely.
Cool.
For sure. I've just come up with an idea as well. How about next week on the podcast, in 1 week, we all need to come up with a brand new idea that we think would work in the current market.
Well, I've already dropped
But we're
mine.
giving it away.
Yeah.
Getting away ideas from.
That's okay,
Well,
because
that's
not many
fine.
people execute.
Yeah,
Right,
on
yeah,
that,
true.
like you should share your ideas with people. Say,
And
this-
it doesn't
this
have to be
is-
a banger idea. It could be like half
Yeah,
good.
if you're
Okay,
scared
yeah.
about sharing your idea, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You should share it and be like, "Can you give me advice on it?" Challenge people to go start it themselves and be like, if you're not confident enough to go start it yourself, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying, "I don't have the edge in it that person does." You know what I mean?
They always say don't be too shy to tell people about great
For
ideas.
sure.
Yeah.
Like rewind back 2016, I was looking at this place for a coffee shop, and I showed like 100 people the location. I didn't have a lease or anything, but I was like, "Do you think this would work?" And they could have gone and signed the lease and done it themselves. But I was like, "I fucking dare you to."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go do it. Like, I want to see how you go.
Little did they know, Josh was a leasing agent at the time.
See, there's always something behind.
That's it, definitely.
What do you think, bro?
Yeah, well, I can't agree more. So sharing is caring. I always say that's why I'm never afraid of sharing ideas. I never think sharing or telling people what to do is a bad thing, because as long you're proactive, you're thinking ahead. Your mindset is, once I tell you, like what Josh said, then people will give you feedbacks, give you ideas. And not many people can be as good as you are when it comes to execution. So I guess the best way to get ideas is think crazy, think outside the box, think outside the box. What that means is you don't have to reinvent the wheels when it's not broken. So let's say you love real estate. I mean, how are you gonna think outside the box? It's an industry that's been going on for years, if not centuries. So how we did it as Lee and Dews, well, no one in Australia actually goes to Taiwan to do seminars. Yeah, there are companies doing that, but no one actually owns a company in Australia who was born in Taiwan, raised in America, coming to Australia, going back there, telling them, crushing them with their American dreams. So this is my niche. I'm not afraid to tell people, but I dare people who's also Taiwanese, who comes here, becoming a developer and do the same thing. So best way to come up with a crazy idea is to think outside the box. Like I wanna do real estate. So what are people doing? And come up with things that no one else is doing. And I think that's the best way to, I mean, obviously you gotta start thinking crazy. So Josh and I, we flew to Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China on a monthly basis. Who does that? Nobody does that. But by doing that, you capture the whole market. You become the lead marketing company overseas. So coming back to, maybe I'm drifting off the topic here, but what I'm saying is don't try to think of something that might contradict of what Andrew said before. Like Andrew doesn't like someone coming up with an idea that's existing product or existing business. Whereas for me, I love people coming up with ideas that's based on current product, based on current business model, but there's a spin off to that.
Yeah.
Like you want to become an inspirational speaker. Okay, there's Grant Cardone. There's a lot of Gary Vee. How different are you?
Yeah.
Well, you're a female. Oh, that's pretty good. You know,
Yeah,
you're female,
straight
different.
away. Yeah.
So you just have to think outside the box within what's already there for you. I think that's the easiest way for me.
Yeah, be
don't
different.
go crazy.
Be different,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
but be different. Be
Stand out
unique.
from the herd.
Well, I was just
Be
thinking
yourself.
then when you were literally just saying thinking crazy ideas with real estate, I thought of an idea as you were saying that. So
Okay, awesome. See, I like that.
here's my idea.
Yeah.
Tell me what you guys think.
Okay.
So when you think about real estate, there's two parts to real estate. There's houses, which is obviously the product, and then there is obviously the buyers and the sellers, which is the other side. So at the moment, if you go to buy a house, it's very simple. You go to a website called realestate.com.au
Yeah.
or domain. There is nowhere for buyers to go on that I know of. So what if you made a site that had AI integrated to it where you put in all your credentials of what you're looking for?
Right.
So 3-bedroom house in this neighborhood, it has to have this growth over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
It has to be in a town that has X amount of schools and X amount of shopping centers and not in a floodplain, blah, blah, blah. The computer basically punches all that into an algorithm and it understands basically what you're after. Then it sends it out to a paid subscription for agents that may have houses listed on realestate.com or on another platform that obviously we create that links houses to the customers and basically links all your agents and your customers together, because the number one thing that an agent's always looking for is the buyer. And the number one thing that a seller or a buyer is always looking for is normally an agent with a house, sort of thing. So I think there's a lot of data out there for the housing side because of realestate.com,
Yeah.
but there's nothing there for the buyer side. Imagine if you create a platform for buyers and sellers to be able to post what they're after us. And then as well, the only hard bit that would be quite spammy is obviously imagine how many people would get hit if they posted, I'm a buyer that has $500,000. I want to buy a house on the Gold Coast and I want to buy in the next week.
What if it wasn't public knowledge?
That's what I mean. That's
So
what I was
if
going
we-
to say.
what
Name
if-
off,
What if the
no
company
number.
was like Buyers Agency Australia?
Yep.
And we had an elite team of buyers agents in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and basically they acted for you as a buyer, and they charged 2%.
Yep.
And basically, you send in your details, and that just goes to the head office. We share that information with our team, and
Or
then
it
they
just
get in
gets
touch with
crunched
you.
in data and spat out.
Yeah, to our agents. And you can
'Cause-
sign up to be an agent.
Because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like that out
Nah.
there. Realestate.com is, $1 billion website without a doubt. It's absolutely pumping, and
Yeah.
I think that if you could solve the problem on the other side, because there's two problems there. There's the housing problem where it's actually getting the stock.
Realestate.com is built for sellers. It's not built for buyers.
Buyers at all. So create a buying platform where you've literally got hundreds of thousands of buyers and sellers as well that literally want to connect with the right agents and the right houses.
Yeah, I think people have done that, but not branded it properly and marketed it properly. Because actually, being a buyer's agent is separate to being a real estate agent. It's a completely different license.
And you make it, like you said, completely private. There's no name,
Yeah.
there's no number, there's no email. It's just literally an Instagram name that like we make a username for this person on the platform,
Yeah.
completely confidential. And they have the choice to accept whether they want to be connected with that house or not. So they get all the data results of all the other agents that they'll connect with, and then it's completely confidential, and they decide whether they want to go, okay, here's my details, contact me. Because imagine the freaking spam you would get from every agent
you
and his
keep
dog.
it public knowledge and say, we'll act on behalf of you to get you a better price than what's listed in that area. One of the, I actually had this similar idea. And instead of charging 2%, we charge half of whatever we save you from the listing price. For instance, a house is listed at $1 million. So you send your details in and you want to buy a 4-bedroom house in Broadbeach Waters, let's say the house is listed at $3 million, because I've got this exact scenario right now. And it's a listed price of $3 million. So if you've seen your details in, if we can negotiate with that listing agent on behalf of you a better price than $3 million, say we get it for 2.9, we take half of the difference that we saved you.
Yeah, right. But why couldn't I find it myself?
Because you're not going to get it as negotiators. Like, we're going to have professional agents who are going to negotiate on behalf of you.
Right.
That know how to get a better price than you can.
Okay.
There's a very big downside to that. So assuming this platform that we're creating, it stays small, which means that the big data is small, doesn't have that many houses on it, which is irrelevant.
It has to have all houses.
So it has to have all
All of
houses,
them.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like the
I
market.
don't think it has to have any houses on it.
How are you going to have the data? How are you going to have the...
So
Why would someone sign up?
So there's a search bar, and they search they search the address, or not the address. They search the area, like Surfers Paradise. They might even have Broadbeach in there. They say, I want 3-bedroom, rah, rah, rah. That form gets sent to us. The form says, Sally wants to buy a house in Surfers Paradise. Her budget's 1 to 1.5 mil, and she's looking for a 3-bedroom house within the next 6 months. So we've got those details. Now we can go out and find houses for her and negotiate for her.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm hearing from Andrew wants to create a platform where it doesn't need human to do it.
Correct.
It needs the system, an algorithm to calculate.
Like AI.
Like an AI kind of thing. But what Josh is saying, you still require human power. You know, people send you that form. You need a human person, the actual person to execute it, to find a house that suits the buyer's needs. So I think
But if AI does it, there's no difference to REA. Because if I'm a buyer, I'm just going to search in REA and find the house that I want and still deal with the agent.
But let's say you didn't have to. Let's say I didn't have to go on realestate.com. I didn't have to go through all the listings. The software was smart enough to match every single house in the market in Australia down to the most suitable for me with AI.
But that's what REA is.
It's not though, because there's still houses that are on there that may not be suitable for what I'm after.
So, for example,
Yeah.
do an example.
Yeah. So an example might be I'm wanting to invest on the Gold Coast. I'm wanting to spend under $1 million. And I'm quite vague with my search. I don't know whether I really want to buy waterfront or whether I want to buy rural or whether I want to buy a unit. But I just want to buy something under $1 million. And I'm very vague with my searching. You're going to get a lot of options, a shitload of options.
Yeah.
With this system, it really, really investigates exactly what you're wanting. And then instead of you having to each week currently search or get alerts to come through, check emails, have agents calling you and negotiating and whatnot, this software literally just goes, it profile matches you directly with the current market. And it will tell you also maybe other things that REA might not tell you. So, for instance, an idea might be, has there been any weather disasters in the area in the last 5 years? What has been the growth over the last 30 years? Isn't there a floodplain? Just a lot more in-depth data, which would take obviously a lot of money to get that data as well. But more or less so to take humans out of the equation. I'm trying to take them out. So there's no agents. There's just a system that profiles the buyer. Somehow it connects. Somehow I haven't figured that part out yet with my idea, but how it connects with every single website, every single agent, every single platform. And then it just goes, bing, here are your main matches. And then that person. And then what you could do with your bit is you could go choose the top 10 buyers agents in those areas to help you negotiate on a better price. For instance.
No, the good thing is about this conversation right here is exactly what you're going to see in the lion's den of the show.
That's exactly right. And for us to start thinking whether I should invest my money in this crazy idea.
Exactly, because there's a
Who's
good
gonna
idea.
create that platform where you're gonna get the big data.
Exactly.
How much
It's
would
a
it
good
cost?
idea, but there's so many nuts and bolts.
Oh, yeah.
So when someone
Yeah.
comes up,
So that's
we'll be the same thing. We'll be like, can you leave for a second? And then we'll be doing
Let's
the same
discuss
thing
it
right
now.
here. Hey, go,
Yeah.
is it worth it? Should we invest
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
or not? There's a lot of fucking bolts involved.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
I think she just wants to fuck me.
Okay, call her in. Because see, the only reason why I even came up with the idea was because when you were just saying then, if you look at existing platforms, the listing ideas, and then a different take to and a different spin, I was like, REA is literally a very intelligent business and platform to categorize the houses and to make it very easy for a human to search. But there's nothing for agents to find buyers. There's nothing. It's just hoping that they inquire on their website.
Yeah.
It's the hope and dream, or the prospecting, the hard old knock on the door or the phone call to get people to connect with. So just imagine if you could do that.
REA has ads now, so you can do ad spend on REA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
So
good.
basically, it's Facebook, target this demographic, this people, but it's through REA's clientele.
Very good.
Yeah, very
That's
cool.
really good.
Yeah.
Like people that are already members with REA.
Not members, but have clicked on the website before.
Yep. So they've been tagged with Pixel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, could be an idea that we might be
Maybe have to cut that out.
How good would it be if we go with a banger idea? We're like, oh, we need to cut that.
I thought we
And it's on
added value
Facebook Live.
to our audiences, and now you're cutting this out.
Yeah, everyone's like, you greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah. beep, 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 beep the whole time.
All right, so we've gotten your answer for how to come up with business ideas. Mine would just be trying to find a solution to a problem in the market, or finding a very successful business at the moment and then having a very different take on it. So let's say, for instance, Uber's kicking off. It's a very successful business here in Australia. How can I, this is what I would do if I was a kid, how can I adapt the Uber methodology to something else? So at the moment, they've got food. Yeah. They've got food.
God damn it, take a shit.
So there's a recent business that's come up, I don't know how long it's been out for, maybe about a year or two, a lot later than Uber Eats and Uber driving, and that's Jimmy Brings. So a guy, JP doesn't even know about this by the judging of his face.
No.
So basically you want some piss, you want vodka, tequila, whatever. You go on the app, you order what you want. Guy goes to the bottle shop, picks up the grog for you, drops it off at your apartment.
Man, I don't know if you know this, but that business, you probably weren't.
Thought of last
No. You probably weren't even born yet. I don't know if you were in Australia at that time. No. That business has already happened here in Australia. It didn't work out. They fucking closed it down, and now they're bringing it back.
Why?
It didn't work because it was too dangerous for the delivery driver to go there with all this piss and a little bag of money, go into a neighborhood, who knows where the fuck he is.
In Australia?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's been around,
Yeah.
but
But they cut it off. Yeah.
It's definitely back now. Like
So
back
the
now.
crime rate's gone up. How has this gotten better?
Maybe
for them?
now, maybe now because of all this Uber
Now we've got
driving and all
viruses
this.
that attack you if you drive.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like, have you guys been to like America or somewhere where they've got like 10 different Uber
Yeah.
companies, like Lyft, Eudora.
DD, whatever it is.
DD,
All that
that's
shit.
big in Australia now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good example of execution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is it not here?
Yeah.
There's not the population for it.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
They got one that is literally like, you can get this guy to get anything for you. Like, oh, I forgot my jacket. And like a
Say,
motorcycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Like,
Jimmy
oh, here's your
Brings.
jacket.
Yeah. And that's what this should be. Let's do that.
Well, AirTask is a good example. However, AirTask is not on demand.
No,
So the big thing
It's
about
not
Uber
right now.
is it saves time.
Yeah.
But if there was an air tasker that could save time,
Yeah.
I was like, I need my room cleaned now.
Yeah.
Come
Or
clean
I
for
need
25
to pick
bucks.
up. I need to pick up bread from the corner store now. I need to go get a HDMI cord for the camera now.
Yeah.
You post up the job. It literally should be as fast as Uber, where you get an answer within a minute.
Yeah.
And then it should blink out to all the other providers.
I
and
hate
then
to
bang.
break you guys up because this idea, it's been there for over 10 years
What's
in
it called?
Taiwan.
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
What's-
It's overseas
really?
already.
Yeah, yeah.
That idea is in China,
why not
like in
Australia?
Asia. I don't know. Like people just very slow. Like the idea Josh was talking about, like integrate the Amazon, Alexa, and Google Assistant to control your house. It's called fucking smart home. It's fucking available in Taiwan 20 years ago. In China too.
That's
Fuck,
so
we're
true,
not so
man.
slow.
People are watching
You
these
got this
podcasts
idea.
overseas and they're like, fuck Australia
This
of mine.
podcast
They reckon we're 10 years, but I reckon we're 20.
Australian market only.
It's 100% correct.
People in
It's 'cause-
Taiwan
I know.
and China,
Australia's
please
so
don't look at this podcast and laugh at us.
Wait,
okay?
first start, I'm going to defend all Australians here. We're on a fucking island. Do you know how long it takes to get anywhere from Australia?
Dude, I went to Singapore like 10
You're
years
so
ago.
behind.
And they've got those hand dryers. They've got these hand dryers where you can put your hands in and dry it on either side. Like
It's called Dyson.
We've got there.
Now we've got off.
But
But
dude, got there with these talks.
yeah, now we do. But 10 years ago, we had these shitty ones on the wall.
Yeah, true.
We had to push in this
True.
button,
Yeah.
and like it took us 2 minutes to fucking
True.
like still have wet hands.
True.
It's
But
so
in
funny,
Singapore,
man.
we got
It's so true. It's
Fuck, Josh just made us look that bad there. Oh man, I went to Singapore and you put your hands in and you go, I was like, no, you're not.
Oh, come
It's
on.
so true though, man. Because when I went to South
We
Korea,
are that.
yes, exactly what you're saying. We went to South Korea. Firstly, South Korea don't let any Uber drivers nothing because they don't want to stuff up their taxi
Yeah,
industry.
exactly.
Then Uber's not allowed. All the other companies are not allowed in South Korea. When I went there, South Korea is so advanced in technology that we seriously here in Australia we're in the fucking caveman world.
You know what's
Really?
cool in
Yeah,
Taiwan?
who's got a better economy?
Oh, I don't know. South Korea is pretty good, man.
Better than Australia?
Oh, I'd have to do some research.
Dream on.
Research.
I'll challenge you on that.
You know-
$1,000 bet. We're going to better economy.
South
than
Korea has
Australia.
51
Oh, by the way,
I love South Korea. Like, South Korea has 51 million people in a country the size of Tasmania.
Where would you rather be?
Oh, 100% here.
Amen.
Of course.
Amen.
You know what's in Taiwan that's pretty cool that Australia should implement? They've got this taxation system that's linked to a lottery.
Yeah.
So every
exactly.
every time
Really?
you get a receipt from a store, you also get a lotto ticket.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird when you think about it. But
Yeah.
what the government do is, I don't know if it's the government's company or a separate company that works with the government, but they incentivize shops to use this system so they're paying tax.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of businesses in Australia and also overseas that pay cash and avoid tax. So they say, hey, use our receipt printer. People will come shop from you because you're giving out lotto
Lotto
tickets for
tickets.
free.
It's very easy to file tax.
But
in
government are
Taiwan.
getting tax. And they fucking go crazy. This big, all the tax, like some of the tax money goes into the lotto draw and they give it out as a lotto
Wow.
every
Wow.
week, every month.
Yeah, every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's like,
sick.
there's poor people collecting lotto tickets and stuff like that.
Like people would ask you, do you need a receipt? Let's say you go to 7-Eleven.
Oh.
Is that why you always keep the receipts?
Of course.
Bro, there's no lotto
This
here.
could be a lot.
Dude, how can I become a fucking multi-millionaire for no reason?
Every time he gets on, it's like, fuckers, no lottery ticket.
We literally have a Google Drive of like 1,000 receipts. I'm like, bro, we're not gonna win.
Yeah, you never know. Never give up. See, that's the personality you want. Never give up.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right,
let's move on to the
JP,
next-
you've got...
Oh yeah, you haven't.
Yeah, you got to answer it quickly.
Oh,
So
dear.
how do you come up with business ideas?
Oh man, for me it would be look at the niche, what's going on at the moment. But
Yeah.
first and foremost, to be honest, if you're gonna come up with an idea, you're obviously the person who's gonna be driving it. So you got to look at yourself first and think, okay, what skills do I have? What can I do? What can I learn? You know, what can I learn? Can I learn? Okay, I know a little bit of this. If I teach myself a little bit more, I'll be able to do the job. You know, I'll be able to start it anyway. Because most people that come up with the idea, let's be honest, most people don't have money. So don't think of an idea where you go, oh, well, I need investment to give me this.
Only there was
and
somewhere
this,
they
and
could
this.
go.
Yeah, if
I want to get into building a better rocket that's going to land on its ass on Earth.
Exactly, exactly.
But in
Yeah.
saying that though, Elon Musk doesn't have a rocket science degree at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
You
So
know,
he would have
I
started.
think he was an engineer though, wasn't
But,
he?
but
He
in
was a
saying
very good
that, he
engineer.
didn't start it off building
Rockets.
Tesla.
And
Yeah.
Jack
He
Ma-
started out PayPal.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
understands how money works.
Yes.
And he understands how to raise funds.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
sells his ideas to
Yeah.
other people.
But like
And
Jack Ma doesn't know how to use computers.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he gets other people that know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where I was getting back to your idea. Have you got money to employ the right people
Yeah.
to get your idea kicked off? If you don't, then you got to look at yourself and go, what skills do I have to get it kicked off enough to make enough money to go, now I can afford this guy to do that part of the idea, this part, that part. So
And you know what's
yeah.
free? Knowledge. Just
Yeah.
Googling shit.
Yes.
I know.
Because once you've got it
There's no
established
excuse.
and you have the knowledge
Yeah.
for it,
It's fucking
you can
no
give them
excuse.
sweat equity. Hey, John, I'll give you 20% of the business and you do this work. And if you come in, then Andrew's going to come in for 10 grand for 10%.
Yeah.
And then we've got business.
Bro,
Yeah.
you can literally, and this is facts, you can literally become a professional trader within 6 months of watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Literally. Right? And then let's say you become a professional trader within 6 months. Everyone's got $100, right? You speak to 10 of your mates, you say, look, here's $10, this is what I turned into, or here's $100, this is what I turned it into. you invest with me, I'll give you a percentage on it, and then you're literally crowdfunding and investing the money into it. Like anything you can learn on YouTube. Like the only things that probably are a little bit harder to learn on YouTube are things that obviously you need degrees for, like, you know, being a lawyer or whatever, or even I haven't even looked at it. There's probably even YouTube clips on how to become a developer, you know, like, but
there are
literally
lots.
YouTube is literally like the answer to anyone's question on how to make something from nothing and how to actually do something. When have we had this much information at our fingertips ever in the
So
human
true.
history?
That's what Tyson can go and look how to find the G spot.
Yeah! And how to leave the GoPro on and it's off again!
No. So he can look at how to use the fucking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Far out.
Yes, YouTube is the bomb. But yeah, my idea, yeah, definitely. If you got the money, then look who you can employ. If you don't have the money, you got to look at yourself first and think, how can I get it kickstarted from there?
Honestly, you can use YouTube to look up how to do something
Yeah.
and create a course for almost
100%.
nothing
100%.
on how to do it and then sell
How
it.
to trade, how to turn $500 into $50,000 in
How
your
to do a
first 6 months.
How to do a handstand.
Yep. Oh, God, you get me started on that. So I explained to everyone quickly about that. We're obviously going to do our own course soon. And I said that it is so easy to literally sell courses these days. You just literally be a marketing guru. He said, I literally came across a guy like 2 months ago that was selling a course on how to do handstands.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Man, so funny. So that
I think he found it. Oh, he found some other one actually and
There's
sent it to
someone
him.
about backflips today.
Backflips. There you go. How to do backflips.
I saw one on
Backflips
flexibility.
changed my life, man. Like, as soon as I knew how to flip and not land on my head, I didn't risk breaking. And now I don't live with any fear. I just walk everywhere.
I saw one on a guy. I saw one on a guy that said you can learn the splits in 4 weeks. I've done karate for most of my life, and it didn't take me fucking 4 weeks to do the fucking splits. It took me
that's why you
fucking
need to do his
ages.
course.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Maybe he's got some secret sauce.
At the end of the day, if you can do backflips and splits,
Yeah.
sex sells.
Exactly right.
Well, fuck, I got one of them.
Yeah,
I
if
can
you're,
show you.
if you're a stripper and you want to make more money, I'm sure you're going to get paid more if you're doing flips and doing pussy splits. Straight away.
But just so you guys, young people out there know, by doing that, you're not gonna become a millionaire. That's not what we're here to teach you. To be
Unless you get the money from stripping and invest it into your course that you did for 6 months in Scotland.
Always think outside the box.
By the way, today this was sponsored by YouTube.
Pretty much.
Get some more views.
Definitely.
All righty, so we've
Shall
got
we
one
move
more
on?
question.
Yeah.
All right, so last question from the random public. How do you manage your time more efficiently?
I think for me, it's a calendar. I use Google Calendar. So all my meetings, all my tasks are all on Google Calendar. That way I seem more efficient as well, like to people when I set up meetings and stuff like that. So Google Calendar is my tip.
Excellent.
And how does that help manage your time? Just being more organized?
So I have basically, I don't have any, I have my meeting scheduled, but at the same time, I have schedules in there for things to remind myself what to do.
Sure.
So I have three different things. I've got what I call, from Ryan Serhunt, he's a real estate agent over in America. So I've got finder time. So that's basically time to prospect leads. So I'll put that in my calendar to remind myself, hey bro, you should spend this hour and this hour to prospect leads. Secondly is finder time. So that's looking over money. So I'll be like, all right, this hour, just look over all the money things, finances, all that kind of stuff. And then doer time is actually doing shit. So things like, all right, for the rest of the day, you're actually going to implement the shit you said you would do. So it's just reminders kind of thing at the same time.
Yep. What about you, John?
For me, it's actually quite easy. I'm a very spontaneous kind of guy. I don't like to plan my week or my day ahead of time because things could change. You could be talking to a very, very serious buyer, and that one meeting could turn into 3-4 hours, and that happens to me all the time. So for me, the way to manage time, I don't like to micromanage my time. I think life, I'm having a broader view of life. I think if you want to plan your schedule, you need to think about what's most important. What are you trying to achieve? So if talking to clients is the most important thing for this week, then sure, all the other stuff, that's just secondary. Just focus on doing one thing or two things at a time. So for me, how I manage my time, I look at the week. I think about what I want to achieve, and if I can achieve those two things, that's quite good for me already. And I might miss here, miss there. I might not have done this and that, but to me that doesn't matter.
Cool.
That's how I manage my time.
Awesome.
That's good. For me, I would say I usually like to look at my week and know what I got to do. I write it down and then I start ticking it off or crossing off as I go along. My goal is if I don't get it done in the week, then on the weekends I eat shit and I work on the weekends.
Punishment rule. Yeah, I like that.
Get things done. I like
Yeah.
that.
So for example, the weekend just went. I stayed home all weekend and did work all weekend. Andrew was telling me, "Come out, let's get fucked up." I wanted to.
It's pretty true.
I wanted to, but I thought, no, just get this shit done. So that's my punishment. If I fuck around during the week, then the weekend.
I don't know how you've had any free weekends for the whole year because you do fuck all on a good day. So I don't know how I've ever seen you on a Saturday because you've been fucking working at home.
That's how I'm working at home doing other things.
Mine would be when I'm like full in perfect flow and focus would be blocking my days into roughly around 8 sections. Each section would be an hour. I would normally work for 50 minutes of the hour. Then I would basically get up or have fun time for the next 10 minutes to basically reset because I have ADHD and I find it very hard to focus for long periods of time. Yeah. When I get really into things and it really excites me, it's money, business, startup, whatever, I can focus for 10, 12 hours. But normally for day to day, if I'm going to be realistic, I normally will lose focus within the hour and I'll still be on the computer doing stuff, but I'll be doing 20% efficiency and 80% dicking around. I'll have 7 windows up with my spaceship set up and I'll be, looking at the latest products over here and then I'll be looking at new things over here and then I'll be like, oh, what's going on Facebook? Very, very delayed. So I try to stay as focused as I can for those 50 minutes and then for the 10, hit the reset button, get up, go walk outside, hit reset, then go back down. And if I'm really, really wanting to push and extend my day out, making sure that every single minute is accounted for in your calendar. Watch your life change when you fill your calendar out for the week and you predict and plan what you're going to be doing for the week, a week out. Plan it the night before, not in the morning. I normally find for me, planning the night before what I'm going to be doing the next day, the time I'm going to be getting up, when I'm going to be cleaning my teeth, when I'm going to be having breakfast, what time I'm going to be leaving the house, when I think I'm going to be arriving, where I'm going to park, all those sort of things, put them into your calendar and watch. If you have a plan in front of you and you have a set out blueprint of what you need to do, you have motive then. And then when you have motive, you wake up. When you don't have motive, when you don't have somewhere to be, you'll find yourself sleeping in. When you're your own, especially when you're your own boss, an entrepreneur, a visionary, you don't have to come to work. I don't have to go to work. You don't have to go to work. Either do you guys. We do because we have the drive there. But I think that if you have those commitments in the morning, you'll go. If you had a meeting at like John normally is more of a night guy than a morning guy. Would I be correct in saying that? Like he was at the office till like 12 o'clock the other night.
Early, though.
You do wake up early?
I just don't show up to the office if there's no meetings. There's no.
Of course, because there's no motive.
Yeah.
You don't need to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're doing life somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that strengthens my point again. If you have set things to be doing in the morning, you'll be there.
Yeah.
And you'll be there on time and you'll be there. And like you said, you were here till 12:30 the other night, which is freaking awesome, and clap to you for that. Always the last to leave, never Josh. Actually, I want to ask this because this is the question. No, listen to this. I'm backing Josh up here actually. When you posted your story, right? There were 2 cars in the car park.
Yeah.
Was Josh here?
No. He took another car. He has another car.
Come on,
bro. Why do you think?
Why do you think I purposely,
unlock both cars just to prove to you I'm the one? There, I'm the only one.
That's right. John thought, fuck that.
Dude,
John's not putting any more K's on this Maserati.
I actually walked home to Raby Bay that night.
So I thought you lost some weight.
See, he lost 2 kilos.
So
thanks to me.
What car did he take though? I'm backing Josh up. I still think he was here.
Thanks, bro. I was here. I was here in spirit.
So are you saying you were still in the office and you were working harder than John? John gave up and left early.
Yeah.
No, I was working, but I wasn't in the office.
spiritually. You know?
Where were you working? At the casino or like where?
Just at home.
At home.
Yeah, I have another car.
Oh,
He has
awesome.
another car.
Good stuff.
So John was in the
See,
office,
I'm
but
the
I
kind-
was
I'm
actually
the humble guy.
working.
I only show 2 cars on camera. I don't show the rest of the cars, but this guy I want to talk about it.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for
right, cool.
listening in. We'll see
Sounds
you next
good.
week with
Cheers.
everything's
Awesome.
ideas.
Cheers.
Guys, Lair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great podcast.
Hey.